The brand new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer has just been released, and it raises a whole lot of questions, not just about what kinds of antagonistic forces Peter Parker will be facing off against, but also about the state of the MCU as a whole. So today, we're breaking down the trailer and giving you the details on what we noticed. Let's start off by discussing what actually happened in the trailer. The trailer starts off with a quick montage of action shots of Spidey, one with him swinging away from an exploding building. Then after a few title cards, we get to see Peter in costume at what appears to be a charity event, with his Aunt May announcing, "Thank you, Spider-Man." So she seems cool with the whole superhero thing now, thankfully. The two then high-five and hug backstage, Peter with his mask off. Happy then makes an appearance with a giant check and hits on May, with Peter protectively asking, "What just happened?" The next several shots depict Peter getting ready to go on a trip to Europe with his friends, grabbing traveling supplies and a passport with a hilarious photo. He decides to not take his Spider-Man suit with him, saying that he wants to just go on a trip with his friends, and that Europe doesn't really need a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We then see that Ned and MJ are back, with Peter and MJ having a cute little flirtatious moment. We then see Peter telling Ned that he thinks he and MJ could be a thing, and just as Ned starts telling him the story of how he first fell in love, he drops down to the floor, shot with a tranquilizer. The tone of the trailer immediately changes, revealing Nick Fury sitting in Peter's hotel room, saying it's so nice to finally meet him. Nick Fury then takes Spider-Man for a ride, hijacking his summer vacation. We then see a shot of Peter zipping towards the London Bridge on fire with his winged suit on, a shot of Nick Fury and Maria Hill shooting an elemental monster of sorts, and then in the voiceover we hear Fury tell Peter, "You've got gifts, Parker, but you have a job to do. Are you going to step up or not?" This is followed by a shot of Happy saying, "We're all alone. What are you going to do about it?" Then we get an epic shot of one of the yet-to-be-introduced characters that we've all been dying to see, Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who announces, "You don't want any part of this," and begins to fight off one of the elemental creatures. The trailer then ends with Peter and his friends watching Mysterio on television and a great little comedic beat. So, what does all of this mean? Let's break it down. One of the major mysteries of the trailer is the elemental creatures that appear throughout, wreaking havoc in London and other cities in Europe. Who or what are they? So these are actually the Elementals, an organization in the comics that first appeared in Supernatural Thrillers issue 8 back in 1974. Now in the comics, they're 4 extra-dimensional humanoids who become immortals with power over natural forces, and ruled a kingdom on Earth before the rise of the original Atlantis. They also reigned terror during ancient Egypt, and would later return to Earth and fight against Carol Danvers as Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel issue 11 and 12. Their names are Hellfire, who generates flames, Hydron, who has aquatic powers, Magnum, who can manipulate Earth, minerals, and rock, and Cypher, who has the ability to control air. Miss Marvel would defeat them in issue 12 of her first volume of her self-titled solo series in 1977, defeating them one by one. So this begs to ask, will this storyline somehow tie into Carol Danvers, who is being introduced later this year in Captain Marvel? Or will this act as a jump-off point for the new Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, who is said to be introduced into the MCU in the upcoming future? Another big question though, are the Elementals going to be presented as 4 individuals as in the comics, or just amalgamated into one person? Moving on, let's talk about Mysterio. He's a good guy now? Mysterio in the comics is traditionally a villain. First appearing in Amazing Spider-Man issue 13 back in 1964, Mysterio is Quentin Beck, a former movie stuntman, actor, and special effects designer, who turned to crime after his career failed him in Hollywood. He's an illusionist, a gifted chemist, and created smoke capable of negating Spider-Man's spider sense. Initially, one popular theory about Far From Home was that the film may be an introduction to the Spider-Man supervillain team, the Sinister Six, in which Mysterio was a part of at one time in the comics. But now that Mysterio appears to be fighting on the side of good, what does that mean? In an interview with a Brazilian news site, Jake Gyllenhaal mentioned that Quentin Beck would be teaming up with Spider-Man, who was recruited by Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. in order to deal with the threat of the Elementals. It's popular opinion that this is misdirection though, and that Mysterio will ultimately become the main villain of the film. I mean, this is just a teaser trailer after all. Another question raised is whether or not his powers will be the same, since Mysterio seems to be flying around and kicking some major elemental butt. Traditionally in the comics, he's an illusion expert, a master hypnotist and magician, an expert at hand-to-hand combat, and a brilliant chemist and roboticist. So could Mysterio actually be behind the Elementals? Considering they're more of an obscure villain group in the comics, and really they're all maybe just some part of a master illusion trick that he's put together, wanting to become famous like the Avengers now that those superheroes may be out of the picture, and S.H.I.E.L.D. has fallen for it? Well, that last little bit seems unlikely. Nick Fury is not a stupid man, but considering the state the MCU may be in after Endgame, who knows what could happen. Now in the latter half of the trailer, we see Parker in a black Spider-Man suit, one that does not look like his iconic symbiote suit that gained during Secret Wars that turned out to be none other than Venom. This one seems to resemble more of a stealth-inspired suit, with adjustable eyepieces. Now there isn't a suit from the comics that matches up exactly with this one. This one seems to be a mashup of various different costumes, with the biggest influence being his suit from Spider-Man Noir, which Parker donned in a story in an alternate universe where he fought crime in the 1930s. The suit also looks like it could be inspired from the suit in Amazing Spider-Man issue 650 from 2010, mixed with the Mach 3 suit in Amazing Spider-Man issue 682. Now the other question is, where did it come from? Well, our money is on Nick Fury and Maria Hill, that's for sure. But also, why does he need it? What kind of mission is Parker gonna be on? That brings us to our last point, why Spider-Man? Perhaps the biggest question this trailer poses is why Nick Fury has sought out Spider-Man. It's no big secret that Spider-Man Far From Home will be released after Avengers Endgame, the sequel to Infinity War, in which Parker, Fury, and Maria Hill were all dusted. Assuming that this takes place after the events of Infinity War, since this film is the first of the MCU Phase 4, Fury approaching Spider-Man rather than other members on the Avengers team seems to suggest that the other Avengers will be unavailable or incapacitated due to the events of Endgame, leaving Spider-Man as one of the only reliable heroes left for Fury to approach. Considering the "we're all alone" line from Happy, this seems to be the case. Alright, so what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on the trailer? And what do you think is going to happen in the film? And where are all the other superheroes at? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts and feels. If you dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for all of your MCU news and content. In the meantime though, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.